I had a conversation with this man here. We would sit down and have conversations once or twice a week, just converging in the same place over a cigar and just having a nice conversation where I didn't realize that I was helping, I say this young man out in whatever he was transgressing. And he was a huge instrumental to me in the positive energy field and entrepreneurial space. And so with that, my impression of entrepreneurs, where we grew up as thinking entrepreneurs are, if someone said in my orbit, in my world, they were an entrepreneur, we all would say that just means you don't have a job. Where we grew up, that's what that meant as an entrepreneur. So it had a negative stigmatism to it, negative stereotype. And I'm talking in the 70s, 80s in Joliet, where I'm from. Yeah. And Islam had to beat it into my head that no, Snow, you are an actual entrepreneur. So with that, Islam, I really appreciate that, because all of this, it may be humbling, it may be hard to understand, but all of this that you see here is because I accepted that notion I'm an entrepreneur, and all of this and more is becoming from it.
Well, we're just getting started, brother.
Yes.
Exciting days ahead.
Yes. Islam, I prepared some questions here. I said I might get to these, I might not get to these, but I think this is a good time frame to get to these right now. You know what? Wait, before I do this, because I fear I might forget if I don't do this, I would like you to share with my community what was your "but I did" moment. And I do this with all of my guests nowadays, because I do this thing where I'm paying tribute to my mother, who was an artist and a poet. And you guys know what this is. A "but I did" moment is a moment where you told yourself you probably would never try something, you never do something, you could never see yourself doing this or going there, and then you try it for the first time, and you realize, oh my God, I actually enjoy doing this. This is a "but I did" moment. And so I ask my guests to think about that, and I share with them that this is my book, Leaders with the Heart. You guys know this. Leaders with the Heart, Eyeballing with Snow is down there. Me and 10 other authors wrote a chapter in this book. It went on to become an international bestseller on Amazon in 7 countries. I believe it's up to 7 countries and 7 countries in several different categories. So, and I've never written anything before. In fact, I shared with you guys before, I didn't really know how to read until I was a freshman in high school, 14, 15 years old. Oh. I became academically ineligible for basketball my freshman year, halfway through, because I didn't make the grades. It was then discovered that I couldn't read.
That surprised me a lot, Snow, because knowing you, I always felt that you have a way with words, both spoken and written. Your messages on WhatsApp, which tend to be long messages.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, they're descriptive and they're clear, and they come across like I'm listening to you talk, like a conversation. It's very hard to actually write like that. It's very authentic, and it just very expressive. You covered this is how I feel about it, and it comes through your message comes across the feeling and the thought process. And I think you're a natural writer, either a communicator, either through spoken or written language. So the fact that I'm hearing for the first time that you learned to read in high school, that's a surprise.
I appreciate those kind words, man. I really do. So knowing that, I'm not a really strong reader. You gifted me a book that really changed my perspective on reading and my trajectory in this entrepreneurship journey, which was the book by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. It was called
Skin in the Game.
Skin in the Game.
And that's not an easy read. That's not a book.
Oh my God! Hey guys, I highly recommend reading the book, Skin in the Game. But before you do that, I got to tell you, it is a page turner, but it is a very, very difficult read in terms of Nassim's his intellect, his philosophies, and the way that he constructs these thoughts. Very complicated, very complex. But I found myself taking a long time to read it. But I did connect with it when my son was going through his kidney failure. So I had time, and so maybe that was. I believe everything happens for a reason, happen at the right time. So it was at that time. Sorry. So with that in mind, I went from not really knowing how to read and still not a strong reader today to writing and publishing my first book, first chapter. And I would like for you to read this poem, but I did for my mother. It goes like this. I like to say, because I can't get enough of saying it. This poem, as you guys know, it has been my mantra since I was 8 years old. It goes like this. But I did. I know I said that I never would. But then I thought that I never could. But I did. By Ray N., published in 1979. And so I asked my guests just to read that poem and then share with us what was your but I did moment. For me, I've had several but I did moments I've shared, and you've had a million, I'm sure. I want to give you guys a different one. A but I did moment for myself is I never in a million years thought I would architect a poetry contest where you, the winners, will be featured in my next book of poems. That was the big news I was looking to let out earlier this month, is that we're going to launch the But I Did Poetry Contest in honor of my mother, and to get your poems published just as well. So that was one of my But I Did moments. I'm going to have so many coming forward because, again, growing up in high school, in junior high, school was not pleasant for me. You guys all know this. In fact, shout out to Marshall Broadway. One of my oldest friends. We reconnected recently on social media, and she's doing great in her business. And when I told her that I wrote a book, there's very few people that still remember how, lack of a better phrase, dumb I was. And kids can be brutal. So brutal in school. So if you're watching a TV program and you seeing the kids pick on the quote unquote dumb kid, this is how bad it was for me. I'm saying it now because I've weathered all those scars. I forget what grade we were in, but I was in Mr. Phillips' class. If you guys know Mr. Phillips, remind me what grade that was. I think it was 6th or 7th grade. But there was a question or something was the question. I think the question was, what state do you live in? What state? And I said, I'm from Illinois State, but I said Illinois. Oh no, I said, what state do you live in? I said Joliet. Oh no, that's the city. And all the kids are laughing. Just brutal. Now I've always been big. This particular day, I felt I can remember it to this day. All the kids were giant sized and they were all pointing down, laughing at me. And my best friend Fred, he was like trying to help me with the answer. He's whispering something over to me, and Mr. Phillips says, "No, that's the city. What state do you live in? What state?" And I said, "United." Oh man. Wow. It was a nightmare. I have no idea what the hell was going on. But that's how bad it was. And so Marshall, I think Marshall remembers that, because when I told her that I wrote a book, she says, "Wow, I would have never expected you to have done that," because I was not the sharpest person. So anyway, I digress. With that in mind, Islam, if you don't mind, just to read that passage. But I did.
but I did. I know I said that I never would, but then I thought that I never could, but I did. Rayan, published 1979.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now, yeah, if you don't mind, what would be a but I did moment for you?
It brings a lot of thoughts, but I guess I'll put it in a more general way. But a transformational time in my life, COVID, when we were spending a lot of time together. This is a time where, while COVID was a difficult time for many people and we all got locked in for months on end, but that was a time that allowed me, gave me the opportunity to go inwards and to reassess and reestablish many of my philosophy in life, of my perspectives, of my mindset. And it was a transformational time that I look fondly to. This has changed the trajectory of my life. And part of, or a big aspect of the mindset change was to make a conscious decision and an agreement with my partner, my wife, Elena, that we will, throughout our life, choose creativity over certainty. And with that decision, every decision that comes after that, we go back to this agreement, which is the comfortable option. For example, to continue in the country that we love, Malaysia, and the expat job and the comfort of living in a beautiful place like this, or to take a challenge with a lot of uncertainty and travel to a rough part of the world and to live in West Africa. So that decision was based on going back to this fundamental agreement that we will choose the adventure, we will choose the uncertainty over the comfort and the certainty. So every time we made such a decision was a but I did moment. Every time we were confronted with a choice, here is the easy one, the comfortable one, the predictable one, where life keeps going as you would expect it, or you can take the adventurous one, the difficult one, the uncomfortable one, but then life will run faster and will take you to places you didn't expect. You'll do things that you wouldn't think that you could. and you can't predict what happens after that.
Yes, man. Yes. We'll get that applause. Islam, you telling me that, you explaining that just now, it connects so many dots for me right now, because I see you and your wife, Elena, as this very adventurous, not necessarily adventure seekers, but yeah, I have watched you make some decisions that not many people in your position would choose to make and go do these things.